Here we go. This is another video to add value to the people in my network about great people that I get to meet and talk about what they do. And so this is the February, one of my what I refer to as network experts and people that are experts in their industry of what they do to just add value to my community. So the network experts and industry resources playlist on my YouTube channel. So we have Shad McFadden here today. We've connected on our journey through a coaching program that I was part of 2 years ago. And now I kind of get to help people a little bit along the way of meeting people and having a little bit of support when your feelings get in the way. But nonetheless, working with Shad McFadden here of Consulting 71, and I wanted you to just tell us a little bit about what you do and where you're at on your journey of what you were seeing in the corporate workplace as an executive, working with executives for over 25 years. So please introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about where you came from and who you are, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, Jen. So I would say my career, well, actually, let me start with 71 Consulting. So at 71, I have basically three specific things that I focus on. All of it is tied to what I would call the human side of business. So every business, regardless of what they do, have people. People is sort of where I've always been drawn to from early in my career to now. I started in technology, but it was still all about the people because that's where I think the productivity jumps in a way that can fall back down, you know? So I'll probably talk a decent bit about technology. And so in my business, I work with leaders specifically in an executive coaching capacity to work with them. And, a lot of times what's really helpful for leaders is sort of that honest, unbiased feedback. I will not know what happened last year. I will not know what happened to Christmas party. This is just someone coming in fresh. I see it. These are issues, and talk about, with them, help them be the leaders they can be when they sort of get all the other things out of their head. I also work with teams, what I like to call team optimization. I think the most important thing with teams is, the open, honest collaboration. There's relationships. We have to get rid of the competition. If you have 3 stars, sometimes at least 2 of them are jockeying for wanting to be the number one star. And so I think that can damage productivity if you have a environment of competition instead of collaboration. And sometimes people don't even know they're doing it. They just think they're working hard. So that's number two, and I really enjoy that work. And then change management, and change management for me is largely still tied to the human element, but looking at, maybe it's not 15 widgets are coming off the line, we want 20 widgets. Maybe it's like, why do we lose a day after every reporting process because there's infighting, you know what I mean, coming out of that. So those are really what I focus on right now.
What were some of the big problems you were seeing that got you to going into stepping out of the role you were in for yourself and coming into entrepreneurship? And this is your own baby, if you will. So, what kinds of problems were you seeing in the way of those that are going on in a little bit of each of those areas?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say, my career started in consulting where it was similar to today with AI, where there was, we were just starting to sort of build systems that go to the internet, way back when. And so the technology itself seemed to be somewhat simplistic, but we were building things behind the closed doors. We were not actually in the corporate structure, feeling the feelings, having the deadlines. I spent 11 years in DirecTV/AT&T. And during that time is when I really saw the dysfunction that can happen, but everyone accepts it because large companies they have lots of big milestones and 7 layers. And, it's a tricky environment because there are very, very productive senior leaders who will never lose their seat because they produce a tremendous amount of, output in whatever way is, the company goals. Unfortunately, sometimes they do it by grinding down a little bit on some of the employees and just sort of a culture that, you can love it or leave it sometimes. And so I saw really good people get sort of feel like they couldn't be themselves or moving on. And, there were times the closer I think I got to the senior leadership, I noticed it was tougher up there than it was, for the people just starting out. So I think that a lot of that really got me to look at the productivity that we could fix inside of these teams without hiring someone new, or just, it's the communication is broken sometimes. The other thing I like to talk about is that we have four generations in the workplace right now. So baby boomers all
Okay.
on down to Gen Z, so we have some differing communication styles, but even differing values. There are some senior leaders today that, man, you'd better do X, Y, and Z because they've been doing it for 30 years. And what do you mean you just felt like not
Oh,
coming in
yeah.
at all,
Yeah. Different
and they're
perspectives.
exactly. And trying to motivate someone who is younger who just didn't get that message. You know what I mean? It's not always said from a place of love, if I can say it that way. So there can be like major disruptions based on, oh, I didn't think that mattered, or so it's kind of one of those things where these, what I consider to be very important, but not really difficult tweaks, better, I'd say more conversations, more training, and just have a collaboration where make sure everyone is responsible for their own success. I think this really helps companies move farther forward.
So when you do work with someone and what solve those problems, what does that look like for the process of like how you identify and fix whatever's going on in particular? What does that look like?
Yeah, so with the leaders, we'll sit, and it's important for me to understand their objectives, their goals. And every leader has leadership responsibilities, but every leader has a different set of, goals. If you work for the oil company, you'll have very different goals from someone who is putting out a product, or someone who is very, technical software is that what they produce versus something else. So I think that understanding what the leader's responsibilities are is A, number one. So that comes out first. That needs to be clear. And then as we tie a leader's objectives to the, what I would say is the work that's going great and things that are not going great. Because some things I will not know. I'll work with them and they'll say, this is where we're falling off. So that's the first thing we need to do. And then we'll go through the process of the coaching and working through how to work on that. And it largely is the work of the teams as well. So that's where we have the teams coaching, which is one of the things that I provide, and the leadership coaching. And depending, oftentimes the way it works best is if I'm talking with the leader at the same time that I'm talking with the team, because now you have both sides, and you have the perceptions of both, but also you have a very clear picture of where some of the trouble spots are.
When people do work with you, is it usually that they start with your consulting and then continue to work with you as needed over time on the long run? How does that work?
Generally speaking, we'll set up based on the goals that either a team or a leader has. We'll set up a number of sessions, and we'll have regular sort of at a cadence coaching sessions, or with teams, there could be team workshops, etc. And we will set that number up front based on very specific objectives that they have. If they have six objectives, I will rarely say, let's attack all six. This is something where we'll have to prioritize the things that we think will have the greatest effect or the most urgent effect. We'll do that first, and then we'll set the sessions. And then we monitor progress through all of this. So the important part is to actually capture what it is that we're changing and the results and the effectiveness. So we can then make another decision. If it takes us 2 months or 3 months to get the original goals met, now we'll refocus, look at where we are, because some of the changes, after the first fix may be a little different.
Intention and focus is what I got out of
Out
that.
of both of those, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so with what you're doing currently, is there anything you have coming up at all or anything going on that's new and exciting with your journey, where you're at with things, who you're working with specifically, any type of specifics, anything coming up?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if there's anything very, very specific. I know I am currently looking at some new client opportunities, which I'm really excited about. And again, I think for me, growing up in technology, and there's a very exciting change with AI right now, which is exciting and also has the potential to be disruptive. So I am talking to a few groups that are in the AI space, because I think it's tricky to think that AI automates so much without also saying, how does that affect the human element for the people who are there? Because we still need that part. We still need the people to be doing the human side of the AI development. So I've been really excited about some of the conversations with folks who are working in AI development and large companies who are bringing AI in. And, it's easier to get some AI experts, I found, than it is to get people who can help massage the AI development, not the development itself, but, the presence of AI and how it affects the workplace. It's a lot to put on an HR department to say, hey, here are the changes that are coming. Can you please work with engineering, IT, and the marketing department to make sure it still works the right way?
Wow. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share about any recent stories or anything in specific wins with clients or things you want to share with us?
Um, I think for wins, yeah, I'm trying the couple of folks that I'm working with now. Um, they'd probably me not get into too much of the details. I
Oh,
would say
sure.
that
Yeah, yeah. But the
I would say that's
results
working out well is
helps.
that there are folks that I've been working with who understand that the human aspects are really important to their productivity. And, I had a conversation with somebody who said they need to hear me talk to them when I'm upset, like I talk to them. They need to be motivated by that. And a conversation that ended well, helping him understand 3 of your 7 direct reports are shook for a little, like 45 minutes to a day after you yell at them. And he really didn't know that was a thing, and he didn't say anything rude like that's unacceptable or they need to be stronger. He really was unaware, and so little
Yeah,
things like that. It seems like a small change, but it actually has already seen productivity, in that lost time.
totally.
That lost time.
45 minutes is time. Time is time. You can't get your time back.
Exactly. So that's one of the things I'm the most excited about right
It all
now.
starts with awareness.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
don't know what you don't know. I say it almost every day. You don't know what you don't know. I
That's so
really do.
true. Yeah.
So yeah, we will have people connect with you on LinkedIn, correct? And
Yes.
then anything else you'd like to share today about Consulting 71 or your journey?
Yeah, I would say it's an exciting time, really great time to be at work. Clear communication is the number one thing I think that anyone in transition needs. Um, Clear communication builds stronger teams, and stronger teams build better results. So I think that's really important for us to remember going forward.
Excellent. So we'll share your information in the description. So definitely connect with Shad McFadden on LinkedIn, and you can grab a time on his calendar. And are you on other platforms as well, like for YouTube and things like that? Can we connect with you everywhere as well?
You know what? I'm actually setting that up this week. I have a couple things that are out, but let me make sure they're all squared
We're going to
away.
make that happen because actually by the time this comes out, it'll be happening. So yes,
Perfect.
connect with, is it going to be Consulting 71 everywhere or probably? So it's
Yes,
all streamlined?
Yes, it'll be Consulting 71. There is strangely 71 Consulting is also out there. So
Oh, okay, gotcha. All
it'll
right,
be
well, we'll see it when we see it then. So thank you for joining me today, and I will be able to share this, like I said, towards the end of this month, February. I am saying February like it's not February. I know that it is February. So the end of this month. All right, so each month, thank you for joining us. Leave a comment below, please, if there's something that you wanted to ask or engage in the post, please. And this, like I said, my network experts and industry resources come out at the end of every month so I can share value with the good people in my network. And yeah, leave us a comment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jen.